Hello, hello. Another set of patch notes, and it's all the stuff that we've been waiting for, really. Okay, so let's start off with the big one. They are extending Hell's Kitchen and Railway. So, the Railway one, unfortunately, if you want the special embellished banner, it will not be extended. The Railway extension seems to just be to accommodate for the Season 1 extension. But the Hell's Kitchen one, the Hell's Chicken one, is about extending the duration by 2 weeks so that we can grind a bit better. It's to help us schedule the runs. So instead of the previous four runs per day, it will now be, you know, whatever the new math is. I haven't done the new math because I've already done the grind. I'm at 5.5k already, so at this point, there's no going back for me. But for people who have not committed really hard to the grind yet, there is hope for you because they have extended it by 2 weeks. They did mention in a post just now, I can't remember where it was, they talked about how they were going to look into the... Yeah, okay, here it is. So yeah, they talked about how the exorbitant amount of currency required resulted in a lot more fatigue than we initially anticipated. So yeah, at least they know, you know. I'm grateful that they extended at least as a soft measure, and then I hope that they take harder measures on this grinding, because holy shit, man, I was getting burned out just by doing it. I'm glad Star Rail came along to make me forget about the grind for a little bit, but yeah, this event is it was a bit too much, let's face it. 6k within 2 weeks was a ridiculous amount of grinding per day. Yeah. Okay, I hope that they do some hard changes for the next time. I hope that it's not 4 weeks of grinding. That's for sure. I really hope it's not going to be that as a standard, because I really don't like that. But okay, fine. We'll give it to Project Moon, right? They fixed their games. I did not suffer through Ruina's beta part, but people have told me that they do fix their games and whatever, so give them a chance. Alright. And if you don't want to give them a chance, here's some money. Here's some lunacy, 1000 lunacy for you all to shut up. I love that. I love that the Limbus Company just keeps giving us compensation. It's like, oh, look at all these problems we have. Hey, here, compensation. All right, I'll shut up. Okay. Anyway, so with 1000, the 1000 is for the changes that they're currently working on, because there's actually quite a lot of errors in Limbus Company right now. Paralyze being fixed recently was, for example, one of the changes that took quite a while to change. It took about maybe 4 to 5 patches, not to mention all the initial crashing at the start of the release, and after certain bug fixes that forced it to crash even more. Or things like execution not happening properly, Yisang clashing and then crashing the game, all these things. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, they're planning to work on these stuff. And items marked with this symbol are issues that are expected to take a lot longer, so they will not be part of the updates in May 4th. Yep, so currently there's an issue where units with full HP can be targeted by skills that heal low HP allies. I don't actually know what this is. I suspect that it might be Lifetime Stews targeting, maybe? I'm not too sure. I assume that this is Lifetime Stew, basically. Because I don't think anyone else has targetable healing except Lifetime Stew. Yeah. Pursuance is automatically targeting, maybe. I do not know. But basically, there's a huge amount of fixes here. Lots of UI stuff. I like the battle announcer voice lines are not being played, so they are looking into announcer stuff. They're even adding announcer cues for effective or ineffective attacks, and I like that because I want to hear more vroom vroom. And then we got a lot of other stuff here that I kind of never seen before. I've really never seen any of these other things, so I think there might be slight UI changes that have not really affected my gameplay too much, or my experience really. But they are things that they are looking at, so hey, okay, whatever then. Just take your time to fix it. Yep, so the 1000 is for these fixes that they want to do. And then here's the second list of the fixes and improvements that they wanted to do. So some skill slot additions and buff applications at turn start. don't know what this means. I don't know what the issue with skill slot addition actually means, and buff application at turn start. I never noticed anything like that. I have not done any texting with things like this, I think. Or maybe I just haven't noticed it because things still die anyway, because the game is quite autoable right now. Although the Hell's Chicken dungeon is not exactly full autoable. Okay, and enemy levels in Hell's Chicken dungeons occasionally being set to wrong values. That one I never noticed it myself, but apparently it was happening. I also never noticed this speed value becoming 0 myself. Yeah, I just see the clash. I just see the numbers. Yeah, I don't know about this one. Maybe it's when Slithering regenerates his hands or something. Then it becomes 0 speed. And we got UI malfunctions. I think, yeah, I did see quite a few people point out that they had a wolf inquisitor that had like 16 actions, and it was all white color, and it was targeting like so many people, and it was breaking the game. And then there were some other people that after like going through the UI, like the ID menu, they had problems where when they swapped, the ID suddenly became all Korean, and then it became a lot of white stuff on the screen. Yeah, a lot of text as well. So I guess those are the UI problems they're talking about, because I have seen them posted by some other people in the Discord. Yep. Layout adjustments for lock, skill, and passive boxes. I guess it's a UI thing as well. Ego details. Issue where the info of lock passives cannot be viewed. Okay. I don't. Wait. Oh, I guess you're supposed to be able to see the passive of the ego now, right? Because they added the change last patch, yes. Okay, so you should be able to see what your ego passive actually does before you uptie it, so that you know how good the ego actually is beforehand. Issue when invisible Hell's Chicken banner is selected from refraction, railway, and excavation screens. This is a driver issue. Huh. Okay then. Interesting. And then there was this one which I saw when I first read this, is Rodion's Rhyme Shank apparently worked on 1 count of syncing rather than 5, so it was actually really good. It was not, yeah, it had what, bind and attack down, so it was actually quite strong. But they're reverting it back to normal, so that's alright. Issue where pre or post artwork settings selected by user is not applied. Okay, sure. That one's another thing they have to fix, because I want to have my baked Rodion. Okay, so fixes for the issues listed below will be implemented with the May 4th schedule update. So it was referring to all of these patches, right? Yeah, I was referring to all these issues, and they'll compensate us 1,000. Oh, I just realized I went in reverse. Whoops, my bad, guys. Okay. Yeah, okay, I went in reverse. So actually, these are the issues. So what happened was, with the April 27th update, we actually got more issues, right? We had the crashing, the clashing being failed. They had to do some very quick fix from their side in order to make the game playable again. We had to stop the Korean. There was that whole fiasco. So they are promising us that they want to take these potential issues that could arise from releasing a patch more into account, so that the next time they release a patch, it won't be so ridiculous like this patch. Because, you know, gacha games don't really release like patches with huge amounts of problems like Pmoon does, but it's okay. I think Pmoon is giving us compensation for all these things, and I'm kind of okay with that, honestly. I'm a free-to-play player right now, except for that battle pass, because I want to support them a little bit. But yeah, okay. Anyway, so yeah, they are taking those things into account. The hasty adjustments caused new issues in the process. Yep. And so they deem that they want to do more testing in order to ensure that the next fix will not result in more issues. So they will try to make sure that it does not occur in the future. Okay, fair enough. And they gave us 1,000 lunacy for compensation. Okay, sure. Okay, and then this one is about the duration extension, and this one is about the Sinclair, right? Okay, yeah, so Sinclair has been announced. I already posted in the previous video. I will need to wait for the skills first before I judge the character. In addition to that, I actually want to show you guys a new page, a new tier list, I guess. Let me try and find it right now. I'll just edit it in post. Okay, so here is the new tier list. It is made by Discord user Lowercase, as well as reviewed by Nex and Curvina. Curvina doesn't have a Discord tag, sadly, so I do not know who this person is. I have talked to Nex and I have talked to Lowercase before. So this tier list is actually really good, in my opinion. It takes into account all the clashing of each of the characters. So there's also some boxes here. These boxes, right, are talked about over here. Blue badges indicate the unit benefits from technical prowess. Means that they gain more than usual from having multiple actions per turn, blah blah blah. So things like Solo Dawn, giving Rabbit Heathcliff 2 actions, for example, giving Reindeer solo. Because if you solo Reindeer, right, then Mind Whip can't miss. You can just shoot Mind Whip wherever you want and hit something. That is always an enemy. So that's the thing that they're talking about when they put a blue badge there. A yellow badge indicates the unit has a good support passive, impactful when benched. And I remember talking about 7 Otis, and I didn't actually check Ting Tang's one. Let me check Ting Tang since we're here. Ting Tang, what is his passive actually? Ting Tang Gang Leader, passive. One ally with the highest SP. Ooh, wow, that is really good. Holy shit. Okay, never mind. Yep, that's a really strong passive. Okay. Yep, so these guys have done some intense statistical calculations about clashing, clash winning basically. And it's just really helpful to understand all of these things here. So you can see like all of this math here. If you don't understand the math, it's fine. I also don't really understand the math. But basically, if they say that they are strong, then they are really strong. Yes. Yeah. If you want to see the actual, actually, no. I think it's fine. Yeah. But basically, this list is more for it's a bit more like for railway in a way. Yeah, because like it's very hard to make a tier list for regular content, because regular content is actually extremely accessible. I can clear with base units myself. I've tested it myself. So most of these tier lists here is actually very beneficial for just seeing how good this unit is in clashing, and whether they are pretty good to bring for specific fights maybe. So for example, if you ever go to Railway, right, you see all these 6 here, you're probably bringing them. In fact, look, KK and Ting Tang are here because Ting Tang's passive is great, Ting Tang himself is great, and KK is great as well. So it's just crazy. Although Gregor is here, he is reliable. I agree with that. Gregor is reliable, but he also has Legend Domain. So for content with blunt, weak enemies, you also need to consider that as well. So you can strategize like, okay, I'm going to use Gregor for this stage, which for this dungeon would be stage 1, the K-Corps, and Guido. Yeah, because those guys are weak to blunt, so you would maybe rate this guy a little bit higher. So it's very hard to rate specifically for... it's very hard to rate broadly. But these guys have done a pretty good job at it, in my opinion. I do agree with a lot of these placements as well. The mediocre place, I also kind of agree, yep. The End Heathcliff, I'm a bit sus on, because I think he's actually quite strong. Someone sold him to me. And I think that the plus coin down on his skill 2 is really good. But I think they did compare his clashing power. His growths are not super great, I think. Yeah, so he's not super high here. But for example, in this railway, right? Once again, about specific content, right? And Rodion is one of my MVPs for the railway because I like to use What Is Cast. And What Is Cast is really, really strong for the K-Corp guys, helps you to speed through that part specifically. And the blunt part of her kit is really good for killing any of the blunt stages that I mentioned. The piercing part is also good for a few stages because some enemies are also weak to piercing. Yeah, I remember. It was the frog, right? The frog was the frog can take quite a bit of damage from Rodion there. Yeah. So once again, you need to consider the context of the unit before you bring them in. But if for an overall tier list, I think that this is a pretty damn good tier list. And if you want to see the math or you want to ask about the math, unfortunately, I don't know anything about the math. I am not as good as a statistician that I would like to be. So for this, you will probably have to go to the Project Pmoon fan Discord and just ask around. Yeah. Okay, and then if you look at the D tier, I do agree with like almost all of these. She-Heath was the big surprise for me actually. She-Heath is actually under mediocre because apparently his clashing power is not bad. Yeah, interesting, right? Can I control F She-Heath? She-Heath. Oh, they didn't talk about She-Heath. That's fine. That's fine. I think they only talked about the S's and A's more or less in their list. Yep. So the link is here. I'll be pasting it in the comments in the description later, and then you guys can go and check it out yourself. But okay, just another quick summary. We are getting 000 Sinclair, the one who shall grip. A pretty funny name, honestly. And then we're also getting Encore Mittelhammer Don Quixote. Yep. A bit of a surprise, that one. In addition, your Hell's Kitchen, your Hell's Chicken is getting extended for 2 weeks, so you can take your time now to complete your grinding. I'm going to actually take my time to complete my last 500 points because now I have 2 weeks. And then for the rest of the stuff, there's a bunch of fixes. Basically, there's a huge amount of fixes. You can look at it yourself. The main ones are actually like not really essential for gameplay. It's more like stuff like announcers, UI problems, some quality of life stuff, and occasional locks or maybe information not being revealed. Yeah, it's just I don't think you will feel it in your gameplay. These fixes are all just like superficial in a way. It's more for the UI side, more for the new player experience, I guess, because I really mostly know where to go to check out like all of the egos, check out all of the IDs. So this one is more for new players who don't look around for other sites. They just go in to the game and they just look at everything in the game. So this is more for those guys. Yeah. And then we're getting 1000 lunacy. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for the summary as well. So yeah. Alright, I hope you guys have saved your pulls for this guy because purely on the art, I think this guy's going to be top tier. And look at that art. Purely on art is so good. And also I saw he had like what, a 2-coiner and a 4-coiner. I'm hoping for some really big numbers. I hope he matches up to Faust. I hope he's basically equivalent to Faust because then the lore would be complete. Yeah, okay. Alright, I think that's enough of me rambling on. I'll just end the video here. Thank you all for watching, and hope you guys get your Ninclair.